Coming to you from the Deep South, this is the Blue Collar Leadership Podcast. High-impact leadership is not reserved for leaders, and it has nothing to do with your position, title, or rank. However, it does have everything to do with your character. It's time to climb to the next level and beyond, personally and professionally. Now, let's start making it happen with your host, Mack Story.
Hello, and thanks for listening to the Blue Collar Leadership Podcast today. So last episode, we talked about building rapport and that principle of basically communicating to others, I'm like you, so it's okay to like me. If you missed that episode, you may want to go back and grab it. But we're going to be talking today about creating distrust. That's kind of where I left off last time as I bring some content to you from my book, Defining Influence. Increasing your influence increases your options. So giving you some of that content out of there. But our goal must be to create trust, build trust. But in order to build trust, a lot of times what we got to understand is things we do to create distrust, and then don't do those things, right? It sounds simple, but a lot of times we don't even know we're doing them. So creating distrust is easy to understand. If you like most people, you usually recognize when someone creates distrust faster than you notice when someone builds trust. You with me? When somebody creates distrust, you don't miss it. you pick up on it. Your radar is on full blast. You don't miss it. When they build trust, you may miss it. You don't even think about what they did. But when they create distrust, you know it. Distrust is typically much more strongly connected to our emotions, and we usually feel it instantly when it happens. When we're creating distrust, we're being disrespectful, devaluing others, causing others physical or emotional pain, making their life harder, and causing them to question if we truly care. And from a leadership standpoint, leaders do that a lot. They do a lot of that stuff right there. They create a lot of distrust by being disrespectful to the folks who report to them. A lot of times they devalue their team members. They think they're better than them. They're above them. And then the worst among us cause physical pain to others in society. Maybe at home behind closed doors, maybe out in public, maybe in the open. But people are physically abusing other people. That creates a lot of distrust. And then there's a lot of folks, and I used to be one of these people. I caused a lot of emotional pain for other people, the way that I would treat them. And a lot of times, again, we do this stuff physical. You ain't going to physically assault somebody without knowing you did it. But you can cause a lot of emotional pain without knowing you did it. You may not have even meant to do it, but you did it. Sometimes people mean to do it. The sociopaths and the psychopaths and the narcissistic people among us. That's what they do. Again, I used to be that narcissistic person. I focused all on me. I caused lots of emotional pain. Instead of 360 degrees of influence, I was causing 360 degrees of distrust. That's what I used to do way back. But I'm better now. Remember, I'm better now. And you don't have to be sick to get better. Neither do I. We can always get better. But a lot of leaders do a lot of this stuff, create a lot of distrust. That's why they can't get buy-in. That's why there's a lot of turnover. That's why there's a lot of resistance in the workplace. It also these are principles they apply at home, but they also apply at work the same way. So if you're a leader and you understand your life would be better if you had more influence, you would have less frustration, less stress. If you understand that, keep listening to my stuff. Buy this Defining Influence book on. I prefer you do it on paperback so you can absorb it at a deeper level. Take notes, mark it up, flip through it real easy, go back to it and reference it. But it's also on audio and ebook. But I think most people learn the best if they truly want to learn this type of content. I think a paperback book or a hardcover book. Ours is paperback, but I'm saying a real book. Some books doesn't make any difference. It's just a book. I understand people like ebooks or they like audio books, but this kind of book it's like a tool. It's a development tool. It's a learning tool. Most people learn this type content better reading a real book. Maybe not you, but there's a good chance that even you, if you prefer audio or ebooks, that you learn better if you would actually choose to do it with a real book. A lot of times people don't want to read real books because it takes more time. They can't do it driving down the road. They can't do it laying in bed at night because now they got to have a light. Somebody else in the room might be trying to go to sleep. Reading a real book takes a little more effort. That's one reason a lot of people don't do it. There's other reasons too. People have preferences. People learn in different ways. I understand all that. All right. Creating distrust could be something as small as not saying thank you. You ever done something nice for someone? They wouldn't even say thank you. Didn't even say thank you. I know a lot of times when I'm eating dinner with people, I notice the waiter or waitress will refill their beverage, the water or the tea or Coke, whatever it is they're drinking. And people don't even say thank you. It's like they just totally ignore them. And that kind of goes into the next thing you can do to create distrust, ignoring someone when they walk in the room. I mean, there's a lot of people who do it on purpose. I used to do it on purpose all the time because I didn't care about people. So I like to ignore people and make people feel ignored. In the old days, I needed a lot of work, and I've done a lot of work. Now I try to connect with people. But before, I would do it on purpose. Sometimes I'd influence other people to ignore somebody. You know what I'm talking about. I don't know if you're guilty of it, but you've seen it. You may have even done it. But you're creating distrust. You can do it all you want, but you're creating distrust. Or it could be as simple as not waving or saying hello as we pass someone in the hallway or on the job site or on the shop floor, wherever it is you working. Or those are some small things. It could be as big as causing someone bodily harm, stealing from them, yelling at them, or hurting someone close to them. Those things, without a doubt, all these things are going to create distrust. You can tell those bigger things, without a doubt, they're going to create distrust. A lot of it. Just like at a real bank, when you make a withdrawal, you make a big withdrawal, you make a little withdrawal. You can withdraw everything. Some people do. In personal relationships, they end up divorced because they make a complete 100% withdrawal into the emotional trust account of their spouse. It could be the same way at work. Somebody could make a mistake. They could treat somebody a certain way. They could say a certain thing, do a certain thing, and they make a full, complete withdrawal out of the emotional trust account between the employee and the boss terminates them. Or it could be right the opposite. The boss could do it, and the employee terminates the boss. What I mean, they quit, they leave. They can't terminate the boss from that company, but they can terminate the boss and within that relationship and say, hey, I ain't working here no more. People do it all the time. I call it fire the boss. Another way you could create distrust with people, it could be talking about them behind their back. It could be not listening. It could be rolling your eyes when they speak. It could be making a joke about them or taking credit for something they did. So just in this little last few minutes, I hope you're picking up on we're doing stuff all the time, create distrust. Sometimes we do it on purpose. Sometimes, it is intentional. A lot of times, though, we don't even realize we're doing it. But we are. We also, as I mentioned in the previous episode, we also create distrust accidentally or automatically at times. And the more time we spend with someone, the more distrust we create. Think about that. The more time we spend with someone, the more distrust we create. Even if we like them, even if we love them, because we're always making these accidental and automatic withdrawals and don't even know it. But if we're around someone a lot, we're doing it a lot. We may or may not know we have done it, but make no mistake, it's happening. If we do not become intentional about building trust, we risk losing trust. Don't miss that. If you do not become intentional about building trust, you risk losing trust. So, understanding accidental or automatic distrust is extremely important. We often spend more time personally with those we are closest to and care about the most, or professionally with those in a position to help us the most. So, we got to understand those accidental and automatic withdrawals of trust are happening. And we must offset the accidental or automatic distrust created with intentional efforts to build trust. You got to be intentional about it because you know that automatic and accidental withdrawals are happening every day in that relationship. You got to know you're missing things. I got to know I'm missing things. So I got to do things to build trust to cover me. Not so that I can make those mistakes, but because I know it's going to happen. Otherwise, we'll end up in a relationship where there's more distrust than trust. What's this look like in our personal lives? Divorce, separation, ruptured relationships with those closest to us, hard feelings between people. What does it look like in our professional lives? Terminations, layoffs, reprimands, demotions, pay cuts, lost responsibilities, lost opportunities, stagnation, you ain't going nowhere, or hard feelings again. When you make accidental and automatic withdrawals of trust and you creating distrust in your personal and professional relationships, you're going to be frustrated, irritated, stressed. Life's going to be rough because you don't have enough influence. So you can validate the principle of accidentally or automatically creating distrust. You can validate it yourself. Think of a strong relationship you have with someone that you don't see very often, like an old high school or college classmate, or a friend or relative living far away, or someone you were in the military with years ago, or a former coworker that, someone you had a really strong relationship with. Any of these type relationships can be used to validate this principle as long as there was a strong trust when the separation happened. So this is the question you ask to validate it. How is it when you see them again? After all that time's passed, everything's still great. It's like you haven't missed a beat. It's just like old times. It's this way because you have not been around each other to create distrust automatically. The trust built before is still there. That's how you validate it. You've seen this over and over in your life. Let's think about this. When someone does something nice for you and you don't appreciate it, you are creating a small amount of distrust. Or worse, you get used to them doing it and take it for granted and feel entitled as though it's their job to do nice things for you. This happens a lot in personal relationships with people, but it happens a lot at work, in professional relationships. If this is the case, you are automatically creating large amounts of distrust on a regular basis. If you think your spouse or your kids or somebody at work, your boss or someone who reports to you, who's on your team or your coworker, they do some nice things and then you start expecting those things. And you get slack with the gratitude and appreciation. You don't even say nothing because it's just expected. Guess what? You making some big, significant withdrawals. You're creating a lot of distrust. So I share with you, in our relationship, mine and Ria's, she's done the cooking from the very beginning of our relationship. She loves it. She's good at it. I mean, she cooks like a chef. She has since I met her. Over 25 years ago, we've been together. And when I met her, she loved to cook and she's good at it. She knows how to prepare a meal. Let me tell you this. I'm not good at it. I ain't a cook. Don't want to be a cook. I struggle making the simple things. Nothing that requires too many ingredients. You with me? Pretty simple stuff. I can handle that. I still don't like it. But let me tell you what I am good at. Appreciating it every time that she does it. I'm really good at that. I would never tell her to cook all the time. And I definitely would never expect her to cook all the time. But whenever she does, I'm going to appreciate it. I'm going to say it over and over. I'm going to say it every time. Because I do appreciate it. I ain't going to take it for granted. But telling or expecting someone to serve you always creates distrust, even if you do appreciate it. There are endless examples at work and at home where we have the choice to either build trust or create distrust with others. Who we are, our character, our values is going to determine how intentional we are about building trust, because it's not going to happen by accident. You got to be intentional. The more intentional you are, the more trust you're going to create. The less intentional you are, the more distrust you're going to create automatically and accidentally. For a relationship to exist, both people must feel more trust than distrust. If either person feels more distrust than trust, the relationship will soon be over. Pretty much over already. May not be officially over, but it's on the way to being officially over. So what I'm saying is, let me just say it again. If either person feels more distrust than trust, the relationship will soon be over. And actually, it's already over. It's just not official yet. Both parties in a relationship need to be aware of this principle. So it's good if at least one is aware, but it's great if both are aware. And the principle I'm talking about is if either person feels more distrust than trust, the relationship will soon be over. The reason it's important for at least one to know it is one person got to be building some trust. But if both know it and both understand what I'm teaching you about, then again, this could be both people at home in a relationship or both people at work in a professional relationship. The more people that understand that they need to be building trust to grow and develop 360 degrees of influence from wherever they are, and that their life's going to get better regardless of their pay, regardless of their age, their experience, their title, their rank. None of that matters. It's just as a human being, if I grow and develop my character, I'm going to grow and develop my influence. I'm going to have more options in life. Life is going to be better for me. That's why leaders hire Rhea and I to go around, speak, develop, and train personal growth, leadership development for their organization, for the people from top to bottom, left to right, everybody. Everybody needs to be learning this stuff. Even when you introduce it, some people, they don't even care. Okay, they're not going to help transform the organization into a better organization. Some people are going to learn it and leave, and their life's going to get better no matter where they go. But while they're in the company's going to get better. What you got to hope for are those people who are going to learn it and stay. They're the ones going to transform their own lives, but they're also going to transform the organization. Anybody in an organization who introduces this type content that stays there is going to benefit themselves and benefit the organization. Everybody wins. And it's the only way the organization can get better. So somewhere, some point, sometime, a leader's got to step up, invest the time, the energy, the resources of the organization into growing and developing people. If you want to have a better organization, you got to have better people. If you want to have better people, you got to have better leaders. That simple. And it all starts with the top leader. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Talk to you next time.
Make it happen or someone else will. It might as well be you. Are you serious about taking your career and your life to the next level and beyond? Check out Mack Story's Blue Collar Leadership series books and others, now available on audio, along with paperback and ebooks at Amazon and Audible. Please visit bluecollarleadership.com to learn about Mack's books, programs, special offers, and more. Thank you for listening to the Blue Collar Leadership Podcast.